Pantry Studio production.
The following may contain strong language and deals with adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call. 'Cause I will be the last to fall.
With over 24% of the 1.9 billion square acres in America alone, the mountains that so many people call home are also host to some of the most incredible mysteries in the world. The missing, the murdered, strange creatures, unexplained lights, and sightings of unidentified objects. These stories may be strange, they may be sad, they may be odd, but they are mysterious. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And now, live from the Pantry Studio, broadcast to all time zones around the world, with listeners of the podcast in the United States, Canada, Germany, Norway, India, the United Kingdom, and more. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Now, your host, Chris Sloan.
You know, I don't care how many times Arrow's told me, I still forget to push the damn button. That's the kind of week, month, so far year that we're all having, I guess, a lot of us. Good evening. I am Chris Sloan and hard at work in the Pantry Studio. Actually, and that's not a joke, we have been. We've been developing several new episodes, branching out quite a bit more, but I'm going to reel it back in a little closer to home, too. And by a little closer to home, I mean in the southeastern region of the United States, because there's some things here I want to focus on. Some people that have been missing for a while, some people that have been missing for not quite as long as a while. And we've also got people that have been, well, I don't know of any other way to say this, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, but some bitch thinks or thought that they had the right to kill somebody. So, for no reason other than jealousy, or they didn't want to face the consequences of their actions. That happens too. So, but yeah, we've got a couple of good ones coming up. This one that we're dealing with that drops at midnight tonight, and listen to us on Spotify. I know I've been pushing, and you know, we're pretty much wherever podcasts are found, but I don't think anybody's even going to notice this particular difference, but we've done some changing up of some things, and it's for the benefit of the Mountain Mystery. So I'm asking everybody to listen on Spotify if you can. Reason why is because Spotify works on everything. You know, Apple is for iPhones or MacBooks. Spotify works on all of it. It'll work on an iPhone. It'll work on a MacBook. It'll work on an Android or Windows operating system. It'll work on just about anything. And I'm really looking to get our numbers up there for Apple to, like I said, benefit the podcast. But I mean, for Spotify. So if you could, check us out. And of course, you know, Spotify app. Our website, themountainmysteriespodcast.com, continues to get a lot of hits, and I'm very grateful for that. People check out some of the stuff on there, the t-shirts, the bottle caps, and all that. And I am asking once again for, you know, if you've got one of the Mountain Mystery shirts, just send us a selfie, or send us a pic of you and a friend that's got one, or maybe your family. I know that there's family members out there that have gotten shirts, that have bought shirts. So, and I do mean families, like the entire family. So yeah, send us some pics on those because I'm looking to switch up the intro to this gatherings. I'd love to do that pretty soon. So, what is dropping at midnight tonight on Spotify? Well, this one's called Gone. Everybody and their brother and sisters heard of the Bermuda Triangle. This is the Bermuda Triangle, or is compared to as such on land. It's in Vermont. It's around, the woodlands around. It's called Glastonbury Mountain. That's around Bennington, Woodford, Shaftesbury, and a couple of ghost towns, Glastonbury and Somerset. This is the Bennington Triangle. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really hadn't heard too much about this. And then I think that Arrow brought it up to me, our tech guy and research and writer. I think that he brought that up to me, and he was kind of enamored by it. And I was too when I heard about it. So, yeah, we've done an episode on that. And then one about coming up, not tonight, but a week from tomorrow is, I don't know. It seems like I've seen this before, though. It's like deja vu all over again. Stairs out in the middle of the woods that go to nowhere. It is creepy, and it is a mountain mystery, definitely. So, yeah, we've got one coming up on that. And I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten and texts, and even a few people that see me out have asked if we're going to do one on Candy Gonzalez. Yeah. But right now, there's nothing I can tell you that you don't already know. As far as I know, this thing is at a stalemate. It's at an impasse. I mean, I've not gotten any new information myself. And I know that the last thing on my mind is bothering the family. And besides that, they've requested that nobody be on their nerves with this right now. And I get that. They're focused on trying to find her. And, have you ever been so busy doing something that when somebody stops you for a second, you just get irritated? I get that. So I don't really know exactly what's going on. As far as I know, she's not been found. It's almost like another moon we wait kind of thing. So, in the chat room, Amanda, hi. There's a few other people there, I think. Of course, I've got the other gig going on down here too, so I can see. Chat's not. Wait a minute, maybe it is. Yep, there's Mildred. Hello, Sharon. Hello. Good to see you guys. These things mostly get a lot of hits. I didn't do the numbers on the last one, on the last gatherings we did. These things do get a lot of hits, but it's later on when people can watch them. That's the great thing about having it on Facebook. If it wasn't for that, I'd dump Facebook like a bad ex, because it's a freaking crap pot for drama, is pretty much what I see most of the time. But unfortunately, I don't have my own television station with my own television channel, so we use what we can use, and I'll probably get put in Facebook jail for that. And if I do, you will have to watch this on YouTube, because I'll shut down the damn account right now, because to me, they're pointless. Yeah, I'm on a roll tonight, aren't I? Sorry. So the one tonight, though, is about the Bermuda Triangle, or what's called the Bermuda Triangle. It's like a Bermuda Triangle on a landmass in Vermont. What is going on with Vermont? The Northeast, Maine, Vermont, and that place just got some activity, something going on, paranormal. I don't know. It's crazy stuff, but yeah, they definitely got some things going on. This town in particular that we talk about, though, tonight, apparently came around. It was charted or founded in 1700s, the mid to late 1700s, by a guy named Benning Wentworth. And apparently he was a greedy little fill in the blank. They wound up in such a shape that, let me back up a little bit. When this guy founded the town, he literally had no map. He went into a blank map and just drew lines. Said, "This is my town." And of course, he kept a big piece of the landmass for himself too. I thought to myself, wow, okay. Um, he had no idea about local geography. So a big part of the town itself um, wound up being just timber rights. They did what they did with timber rights. They harvested the timber, didn't do anything about soil erosion. So the town was really bad to flood. Anyways, it got down towards the place is now pretty much abandoned, but there's been all kinds of missing and vanished people go there. It's just been a hot mess. This is the Bermuda Triangle on land. I can't stress that enough. Not very prepared for this tonight. Like I said, it's been crazy over the last few weeks. Um, but you guys check this thing out tonight or tomorrow or whenever. But this is one of those episodes that really leave you scratching your head. This one and the next one that follows it. It's one of those. Is it paranormal? Is it just weird? Is it spooky? It's all of those things. And by the very definition, paranormal is something that you can't explain. It's outside of the normal, and there's no logical explanation for it. So that could be anything from Bigfoot walking up to you and giving you a cold beer, or seeing a spirit, a full bodied apparition, or a half body apparition, or getting those weird chills. There's so many things, and of course, yes, aliens, seeing lights in the sky. You know, the first thing I'm going to do, it goes back to that old story. You're walking down the road, you see a horse going around in a circle, you see lights in the sky. What do? Stop drinking. That's the first thing you do. But yeah, I can't sit here and say that this stuff doesn't happen because obviously these are documented cases of people going missing. Airplane crash or an airplane went out of whack above this thing, and it's a big triangular landmass. And that's why we named that episode "Gone" because it people were there one minute, and the next minute they're gone. So what is up with that? I couldn't help but think to myself when I was doing that, okay, this head scratcher. But like I said, we've kind of gone. We've got one coming up that's going to be based in Scotland. One that's in I don't know if they go by Russia now or the Soviet Union. I don't know, but it's in Russia. The Dyatlov Pass. And that's a big story. Everybody has probably heard that. We're going to try to bring you some stuff that is not necessarily. Um, I want to get back into the missing people and the unsolved murders a little bit, and kind of mix them up with this other stuff too, because I think all of it is interesting. I really do. Um, I had somebody ask, Scotty, as a matter of fact, ask, is it paranormal or paranatural? I don't know that there's much of a difference. Uh, you know, if you can't explain it, you can't explain it. And so far, the law enforcement agencies in these communities, they don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, where the hell's Scooby Doo in the mystery van when you need them, right? And sometimes instead of Scooby Doo, you get the Teletubbies. Um, so we have got some coming up, and like I said, to address the pink elephant in the room about, we are going to do something about candy, but right now there's just not enough for us to put together 15 minutes worth of something. This is one of those cases that, the last time anybody's seen her was June 1st or 2nd. There was video of her, and she was obviously, she had something going on in the video. Anyways, you could tell that she was disoriented, scared to death. Um, then all of a sudden she just goes missing, and not a trace has been found of her. As far as I know. Now, again, none of that's not confirmed. I'm just going by what I've been told and what I've read and what little bit about this I know. It's bullshit. It's hinky as it can be. People don't just vanish. And as far as I know, we don't have a Bull Creek Triangle around here. or we don't have a Prestonsburg Triangle. It's, you know, are there strange things that happen right here in my backyard? Oh, you bet. Yeah, there is. But when it comes to some of the things that I've been seeing with this and reading about this, I'm kind of like, okay, where'd she go? And to make it even more out there, if I understood correctly, she was barefoot, or it didn't start that way, but she became barefoot. And let me tell you, in these woods, there's rocks, of course, there are tree limbs, there's sticks, there's snakes, there's take your pick, probably a Bigfoot or a Yeti or a Bumble or something rolling around. Um, all I can say is my gut feeling is it's not good. I don't know that for a fact, but it's just not good. And I am like so many other people and just hoping and praying that they find her and bring her back home alive. But that last time they saw her, like I said, was like June 1st or 2nd. This is what, August 5th? Yeah, it doesn't look real good. A big hi to Tony and Ben. And of course, like I said earlier, Scotty Stamper. Scotty and I used to do something very similar to this back in the day, only it wasn't video. Well, it was, I don't even know if you'd call it a podcast, but it was like a live internet radio kind of thing that we did. And man, in its heyday, we had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 shows, and it was a big deal. And now I'm perfectly content with just doing the mountain mysteries and, um, doing some commercials for radio and stuff like that, and doing the gatherings and doing the blurs. That's enough to keep you busy. It is. But I am really grateful that you all logged on tonight and checked out the pages and stuff like that, the Facebook. And I'm asking everybody once again, if you're just now joining us, check us out on Spotify. It works on every single operating system, whether it's Apple or whether it's Windows, whatever. And we're pushing Spotify because that is our primary thing now, as opposed to Apple. And the reason for that is, to be quite honest with you, is because it works on every single platform out there. And I want these stories out there as much as I can get. So just tell people, hey, yeah, check it out on Spotify. It's called The Mountain Mysteries. We are going to be part of the Spooky family. The Spooky family, if you look on our website under Friends of the Mountain Mysteries, um, they are their own podcast, and we are going to be on their program here in a few weeks. I guess they'd like to know a little bit more about the mountain mysteries, and I'm certainly interested in knowing more about them. And I've listened to a few episodes. It's called the Spooky Family Podcast, and they do a great job. They bring across information in a way that's a bit more lighthearted. Some of the things that the Mountain Mysteries does, there's nothing lighthearted about a teenage girl or a young men getting killed, or people getting killed. I don't care what their age. There's nothing lighthearted about that I can find. So I try to ease the tension with the occasional one of my little zingers, like pissing on a popsicle stick or something like that. But really, there is no. I cannot think of a way or find a way to possibly relate how anybody getting killed is in the least bit lighthearted. But these guys don't talk about that. They talk about UFOs. They talk about cryptids and all kinds of things. And I got to admit, I'm a fan. I like listening to them, and they are really cool people. They're really kind. A lot of people, you put one of these in front of them. Yeah, you put one of those microphones or something in front of them, and I've seen this 1,000 times for over 2 decades that I was in radio. All of a sudden, they think they're God. This is the voice of God. No, it's the voice of a dumbass. I'm in radio. Well, so are 25 million other people. Get over yourself. Like I said, ego checks at some point in your life, or you're never going to move forward. I checked my ego a long time ago, but these guys are not like that. They're getting more and more listeners, which is great. I'm one of them. And the way that they deliver their content makes you think, and it makes you smile. And yeah, some of the stuff they talk about is, well, it's creepy. That's why they call themselves the spooky family. But they are just cool to listen to and cool to be around. And I remember them paying us such a compliment. The Mountain Mysteries podcast sounds so professional. Well, that's, you know, for me, when I talk about April Pennington, when I talk about Dwayne Lovelace, when I talk about Merle Baldridge, when I talk about the 46 people on the Silver Bridge, we've been down this road before. When I talk about these people, I want it to be something that people that don't know me want to listen to. And it ain't because they want to. I don't give a rat's ass if it's my voice or if it's my daughter's voice or whoever. I want the stories out there, so I want them to sound very professional, easy to listen to. And yeah, I do pause in between sentences on occasion. And the reason for that is to let it soak in sometimes. Sometimes I'm just doing this right here. No, it's not really bourbon, it's coffee, but one can wish. And sorry for my habits if you hear me slurping or something. I sincerely do apologize for that because that drives me up the freaking wall when I do it. But I got to have the coffee. Kind of gets you through the day. My drug of choice is sitting out there in the parking lot on two wheels. And, well, as goes life, you don't always get to do it. But, anyways, I'm going to, we've got the link shared on our Facebook, or not our Facebook, but our, my God, I can't even think of the word now. The website, the mountainmysteriespodcast.com, under Patreon and friends. You can check them out there. I believe that you can click on that link and go um, right to and listen to their podcast, but they're also on Spotify. And I look forward to being on one of their episodes and discussing the mountain mysteries with them and talking about how they do things and the reasons why. Here's the thing: everybody's got a reason that they got into podcasting. If it's for the money, well, you are going to be SOL and sorely disappointed. Every just about no, actually, there's no just about to it. Every dime the Mountain Mysteries is making right now is going to paying for this thing, this video platform, and the cost associated with having a podcast. And you know, we got to pay the bills, and that's where the Patreon money goes. Uh, we do have advertisers looking at us, sponsors looking at us very hard. I'm told that's great, and it's thanks to you. So the more people we get, the more they're going to be like, hmm. This guy's got something going on. It ain't this guy. It's us as a team. It's us as a family. And that includes all the listeners too, because without you guys, it's all for naught. It doesn't make a difference. So, we've talked about Candy Gonzalez briefly, and I've explained my stance on that, I think. Talked about the episode coming up tonight, and this stares out into nowhere. Hmm. There's a few others that we are going to get into closer to Kentucky, too, that are people that have been missing for some time. One of them is Heather Teague. And for whatever reason, this almost reminds me of April. It won't leave me alone. Her name, and no, I never knew her at all, but her name is on top of my mind. The situation, the circumstances, the different chances that were missed opportunities to corner somebody. That somebody is now dead. But a lot of people think, okay, this is the guy that got it. Well, they never really got around to questioning him, and then he goes and if I'm not mistaken, again, I could be wrong, and I reserve the right to retract this, but I think he committed suicide. And this case is quite a few years. I mean, like back in the late '90s, mid '90s, something like that. But she was an absolutely beautiful girl, and she was, I think, from around the Owingsville, somewhere in that neighborhood area. I'm not sure. Again, I could be completely off on that hill. It could be on the other side of the state, but for some reason, it this is what got all this started. I could not get April out of my head. I could not get the fact that murder, they said it was suicide. That was bullshit. I go in one day to look up if anything is new with her. And the only thing I found about her on the internet was her Find a Grave memorial. Nothing on Tim Stambo. When I say that our mission, our mission statement is to preserve memory, facilitate truth, and gain hope. I'm serious about that. Preserve the memory. They never die until we forget them. Facilitate truth. These are the facts as we know them. This is what we've been told. And bring hope one day, one way or another. Like Sharon said, whether it's in this life or the next, justice will be served. Gotta believe that. I'm just hoping it's in this life because I would like to see it with these eyes. I would. So tonight at midnight or so, that's Spotify is definitely the way to go. Of course, we are also out there on iHeartRadio and Audible and stuff like that. And those are great platforms. We are still on Apple, but we switched things around in several different facets, which you'll probably never be able to tell that part. This is all behind the scenes stuff. But Spotify is our go-to, and I'll tell you why, because it works everywhere. And the more I got used to Spotify, and I've had this thought for a few weeks, I thought, that's probably the way to go. I mean, for me, it works better as a user, as a listener, because I listen to several podcasts, and it's not just Apple. But at this particular point, I've not listened to anything on Apple in a while. It's been Spotify, everything. I just like their features and how much it is, or how it works better. Yeah, supporting us on Patreon, you get early access to all the episodes Tuesdays. For the $5 tier and up, you get access to the blurs, which right now I think there's 20, 21, 22 of those things. You can literally binge listen to the Mountain Mysteries if you want to, and it's getting pretty quick to where you can binge listen to the blurs. And by binge listening, I mean at least 3 or 4 hours worth. And the Mountain Mysteries podcast right now is like, gosh, 20 some episodes. It's like 22 episodes. We're starting on 23 tomorrow, episode 23, 24. And it keeps growing. We've been at it almost a year now, or it would seem like we're about a half a year, because we'll have 52 episodes a year, barring any breakdowns or tech goofs or something like that. So I am going to do a poll on Patreon, and this is nothing that you have to be a Patreon member to do. If you go onto our website, the mountainmysteriespodcast.com, and you look at the very top, and you go up there and you look all the way over to the left, it's got like this little icon. That's the Patreon icon. You do not have to be a member to participate in this, but I'm going to start a poll, and I'm going to ask you, what would you like? I guess it can be a poll. It's more of a question. What would you like one of the following or one of the future episodes to be on? Would you want to be on a cryptid? Would you like it to be on a haunting? Would you like it to be on a missing person? Cold case, murder case? Because at this particular point in the game, I really don't give a damn whose toes I step on. Now I will respect the families and not bother them, especially if it's new, unless they contact me or have somebody contact me. And then what I do is I contact the family and say, hey, this is Chris. We're the Mountain Mysteries. So-and-so got in touch with me, said that you would like us to help you put the spotlight on your loved one. And if I don't hear from them, that's the last time I contact them. If I do hear from them, then we're going to do what we can to help. Now, that's not to say that they can't come back down the road and contact me if I don't hear from them right off the bat. That's okay. But I'm not going to push grief, and I'm not going to push despair and misery. I'm not doing that. That's just not how it's going to work for me. I am so glad that you guys came in here tonight. But like I said, when I first started doing this, I was like, well, the numbers aren't. And it was like 3 days later, they went from like, I don't know, 7 or 8 people that were listening to like 300 and 400 that had watched. And then I also keep in mind that this is August. It's still warm outside. Beautiful evening, clear skies mostly, at least here. People are out doing other things. I am the center of somebody's world, and that would be mine. That'd be it. And I'm okay with that as long as they do watch them and they do go to the podcast. This is all about promoting the podcast. These videos are about promoting the episodes of the podcast that you can find on Spotify and other places. These are all about getting the stories out there. Some of these stories are, I think I've done a couple of lot harder ones now, enough to where I'm looking to get a little more serious. But don't get me wrong, I also want it to be not just Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Ohio, Vermont, wherever. I'm all for that. But it's about the people. And like I told you, we're never going to lose sight of that. So the Bennington Triangle, one that you're going to hear tonight, it's got several people in it that this has affected. People that have gone missing and they still don't know where the hell they're at. There's been a death or two there. There's been a lot of stuff. And the stairs to nowhere, same thing. What do you do? It's nothing for you to walk into your home and look over there and see your stairs. I got a staircase. Nothing to it. But when you see that staircase out of context, which means there's nothing attached to it, it doesn't seem like we go anywhere. Kind of odd. Now, of course, my logical left brain says, well, maybe that was a place that was a home at one point or was a building of some kind. The building fell into ruin. But wait till you hear about some of these stairs. White carpet, pristine. I don't know if that's true. Different kinds, spiral staircase. Yet there's no foundations of anything else. It's just like these stairs are there. You come back in a few days and all of a sudden they're not there, but they've moved. Maybe they're 10 miles away. Something like that. I was just like, I think I guess I'd heard of this before and just kind of shut it out of my mind because the first thing I thought was bullshit. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought. But there's enough people that have come forth with these stories. And let's not forget, just because it's on Reddit doesn't mean it's gospel truth, for Pete's sake. But there's reputable people, law enforcement people, search and rescue people, people that really don't like that kind of attention that have come forward and said, did you want to see that? It's really, yeah, it's kind of hinky. It's definitely odd. Anyway, I don't know. We're going to look into it. And I can tell you, based on what I've done with the episode so far, it was, there's chill moments there. There's moments where you get goosebumps going on. Yeah. But I am very interested in hearing about what you guys think about the directions that we're taking. Because this is for the people that we've lost, but it's also for the families who are still here. I am watching right now the name of one of them, and her name is so prominent to me every time I think about this program. Because I remember the day I did this interview with this person, and it ripped my heart out. Love, love, love. True love never dies. I'm talking about the love that a mother has for a child, a grandparent has for a grandchild, a brother has for a sister. There are things in this life that you can't put a price tag on. And I've got to admit that when I do these, it's humbling. Kills any sign of ego instantly. Because somebody has come to you and they've trusted you enough. They've trusted your team. They've trusted your ability, your skill, whatever. They trusted you as a person enough to tell the story of the thing they hold most dear. So that's why I say that's the real treasure. And getting to know somebody that you couldn't have gotten to know otherwise. That's cool. That makes me smile. Spotify is where we are at, The Mountain Mysteries. Check us out, please, on our website, That's www.themountainmysteriesPodcast.com. And that works on anything. My daughter built it. My son-in-law maintains it. I have got an incredibly awesome team. Arrow has taken up the mantle of research and writing. He is a super great asset, and so is my daughter to what we all do. It would be my wish that they become even more heavily involved in this if they possibly could. I don't know that Arrow could because Arrow has become my right hand in this. And of course, he's got a job, and Cody, i.e., Allie, has a job. They work very hard. I'm remarkably proud of both of them because they're not somebody that they don't sit around and wait. They get up and do. I can't tell you how proud that makes me and how awesome I think that is. I think it's incredible. I really do. And joining us on the feed, and I got to say hi to her because she's like one of my best friends in the world. I love her to death. Angie, or Angela is what she's by in the chat room, but she's super great. People have asked me, where'd you get the name of the Pantry Studio? That would be her. I mean, aside from the fact that I took a pantry and converted it into a pretty cool studio. You can see behind us, we've got the sound deadening material. We got the reinforcement panels. We've got all this stuff. But that was her. She said, you got to call it the Pantry Studio. And I said, that's about half crazy. Well, fast forward a few years and here we are. She was right. But hi, Ange. I love you bunches. We'll get together from time to time and have coffee and just chat. And it's nice to have friends. It really is. It's really cool like that. Matter of fact, my illegal firearm or my illegal drinking cup, that was a Christmas gift from her. So but I appreciate every single one of you. And it's our numbers are kind of thrown off kilter because we switched from one hosting service to another. But they shot up really, really quick. And Arrow and I were talking about that, and I said, so it's already gone up past whatever the percentile was, like 50 or 60 or whatever. And he said, yeah, in like 2 or 3 days. I said, what's that tell you? He said, it tells me that we've got listeners all over the place. And, you guys don't give a damn where it's hosted. As long as you get it, I hope that's what you care about. I hope that you care about the stories. I hope that we give you something that's good to listen to. Because the one thing I cannot stand is listening to a podcast that sounds like this. Hey, Myrtle! That's not us. We don't do that. At least, if somebody else wants to, that's fine. I'm not knocking it. I'm just telling you, in order for me to listen to something, it's got to have some sound quality. I'd like to think that whoever is talking in my mind is right there next to me, be it male or female. Because let me tell you, I love listening to female podcast hosts too. They're awesome. There's 3 or 4 out there I can think of right now that just rock it. I mean, take that thing to the hoop and slam it. I am a fan. So, yeah, we're going to be on the Spooky Family podcast again. I'm really kind of ecstatic about that. I wish I was better prepared for this episode tonight, but let me tell you, it's not just me, everybody out there right now. I know, God bless you if you're in the medical community, especially with some of the bullshit that's going on around here right now. Got a couple of Band-Aid places that think that they can dictate people's lives. I believe, and I may get some slack for this, is COVID real? Absolutely, it's real. Yes, there's no doubt about it. I believe it. I know people that have had it. I care about people that have had it. I am sorry to say I know of people that have died from it. It's a freaking tragedy, and it pisses me off. That being said, though, When the government comes in and tries to dictate, or an employer tries to dictate what you are and what you are doing with your body, I got a little bit of a problem with that. For me, the government's rights are to defend the Constitution and the rights of American citizens. It is up to me to defend the rights of my health. That's my opinion only. But it's up to me to take care of my health. Do I wear masks? Yes, especially if it's a spot. And you know what? It's not about. I don't want to get this. I'm not going to lie to you. No, I don't want to get that. But what if I'm a silent carrier? And what if I'm next to a mother who has a child, God forbid, or a husband or herself has a compromised immune system? I respect other people. I will happily wear that damn mask and rock it all day long. I've got no problem with that. Now, when I'm in my car by myself, no, I'm not wearing a freaking mask. Come on. But if people want to, that's their right. But my point is this: it's up to me to take care of my health. And I should, as an adult, be responsible enough to at least have a courtesy towards others. I do. Now, as far as your employees dictating it, I'm not really of two minds about this. At first, I was because, well, they're in the medical field. I get that. Okay. But if you are going to fire somebody over whether or not you get the vaccine, that to me enters into that gray area. And yeah, maybe there's people out there that says there is no gray area. That's your right to think that. You know what? My dad fought and defended that right in the United States Army. And I know countless people in the Corps that did, and et cetera. That's your right. All right. But if you're going to we're going to take away your livelihood if you don't get this vaccination. Government's thinking the same way. If the government's so damn concerned about it, why don't they shut down the borders and keep a better eye of what's going on down there? I'm sorry, but DeSantis, president, I'd be for him. Trump, I'd love to have him back. That's me. I've said it. And this is not a political podcast, but I've had 5 or 6 people that have come to me and asked me my opinion on this. And that's just my opinion. And you know what? I'm not going to argue with somebody that has a different opinion. I respect your opinion. I think that's cool. You've got the right to have your own opinion. But I think that the medical community, or at least especially this bunch in particular, should give that and should stress education and not media. I swear to God, the media is the worst freaking enemy the country's got right now. But they should be stressing education. They should be. They're not. They're saying you either get this or you will be subject to termination. Well, what would I do in that case? Given my current situation, I hate to say it, but I would probably have to get it because I get it. People got bills to pay. But by the same token, I could appreciate the fact if somebody's saying, you know what, piss off, here's your notice, I quit, I'm going to go somewhere else. I get that too. So it is a thing of it's an individual choice as much as the individual is an individual, as they are unique. And I do think that CNN, places like that, and the big media stuff, I think that I don't think that they've been anywhere remotely near honest. I don't care to call them out. If I have to watch media at this point, based on what I know, it'd probably be Fox. But I am a conservative, but I also am not a judge. I think I would love to have immigrants come into this country the right way. I don't care if you're from Italy, if you're from Mexico, if you're from Canada, if you're from Ireland, wherever, just do it the right way. Because despite as screwed up and as split straight down the middle as this country is right now, I think it still provides the greatest opportunities in the world. I think that, are we the greatest country in the world? No, I don't think so. I think we used to be. Abraham Lincoln, and yes, it was 1862 or no, maybe it was 1864. He said that if this country ever falls, it won't be because of an outside force. It'll be because of internal rot. It'll be because this country lost sight of its morals, its values, and they lost sight of God. Well, well, well. Fast forward 130 years. I was born in 1971. I grew up in the late 70s and in the 80s. I was a kid in the late 70s. Shit, who am I kidding? I was 9 or 10 years old. I grew up in the 80s. This is not the same world. I don't know if it's due to a lack of a lot of people just wanting to be mom and dad, or they wanted to be the good guy. Okay, well, instead of disciplining you, I'm just going to say you can't play video games for an hour or something. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. I can tell you right now, I put hand to ass on my daughter more than once when she's grown up, and I don't care who knows it. Maybe that's what some of us were missing growing up. I mean, I had my share of it when I did something wrong. When I did something wrong. I certainly did not have an abusive childhood. I had a great childhood. I had parents that loved me, parents that were there for me, parents that gave me everything that they could possibly give me. But guess what? We grew up broke, and it's okay. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody cared. We weren't out after PlayStations. Give us an old broke down bicycle with a couple of inner tubes and tires that we could throw on the thing. We'd spend the day out running the roads. Give us an old Honda or Suzuki dirt bike that was put together with a scratch on the top and a lick and a promise, and man, we were set for the day. We'd run down to that little country store right down the road on 201, get us a sandwich, a bag of chips, and a Coke for $1.25. So we pick up pop cans and get $1.25. We cut somebody's lawn, get $7. I did. God, I miss that. I miss that so freaking much. Miss my mom and dad. Dad would have known exactly what to say during this kind of crap right here because I'm lost, and mom would have had some, no doubt, invaluable words to part. When we screwed up, and we owned it. When we made mistakes, we came to mom and dad with hat in hand. Dad, I know you're not going to like to hear this. And of course, then I'd get this. What? That kind of look. Had a few of those too, Tony. A switch. Yep. And it was really bad when your grandma or your mom or your dad made you go up and break off one. Now, I got to back up and reverse that statement. It was my dad. I could go up the road and kill 10 people. State troopers waiting on me when I get back down to the house. And mom would say, "Oh, he just had a bad day. It's okay." God, she was, love her heart. Her children could do no wrong. I'm sure some of y'all had that too. But don't get me wrong, when I pushed her, yeah, I got it. My dad, on the other hand, well, he was the one that I couldn't get by with a damn thing. I could not get a damn thing by him. His favorite thing to me when I was growing up was, "Son, you can't do a thing I've not done, only I've done it better." Turns out he was right. Yeah. So yeah, I do miss them, and I miss those times of growing up. Lost a lot of my friends to things I should have never lost them to. I mean, these were good guys. These were good people. People that would stand by you in the face of hell and high water. And I know for a fact at least one of them did with me. When everybody else turned and ran like a bunch of damn cowards, this guy was me. I'll give you his first name. His first name was Gary. He was right there because we done some stuff that, well, in the words of my grandma, "You ought not have done that." This guy was right there with me. I lost him. It's been 8 years now, maybe 9. But he walked up there with me without being asked and faced the music. You don't have those kind of friends very often in your life. And if you ever have one, just Freaking one. You'd better count yourself lucky. At what point did we replace friends with acquaintances? Friendship takes work. Acquaintances, well, that's easy. That's yeah. Oh yeah, I know them. Well, but at some point, acquaintances became good enough. Letting the video games raise the kids became good enough. Letting somebody rule our lives with fear somewhere became good enough, didn't it? Yeah, I got some real issues with that. Like I said, while I respect this pandemic, this virus, I know it's real. And I would never disrespect anybody or their family who lost their lives to it. But I've got to wonder, at what point are we going to stand up and say, okay, this is enough? At what point do we say it's enough when somebody's sitting at home that is perfectly capable and young enough to go to work gets paid more than a senior citizen who worked their asses off all their lives and has to choose between medicine, electricity, and food? What's wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this? We just go right on by. When did we quit caring about the people, about other people? When did we quit saying, wait a minute, by God, this is the United States of America. That's not right. When do we let those that we hire tell us what to do? When did that start? Let people coming in across our borders that we don't know who the hell they are. Oh, yeah, that's Pablo. He's from Colombia. He's got another. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? When he gets done, everybody's going to be stripping or snorting cocaine off strippers' asses. When did that become the norm? Like I said, I'm all for immigrants coming to America and making the American dream theirs. And the American dream, the Constitution of the United States of America gives us the right, the freedom of the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit. I'm a little different than some people. Okay. The pursuit of happiness is defined by the individual. For some people, maybe they define success as money. Maybe they define it as family. Maybe they define it as not being told what to do. They're their own boss. Barely making ends meet, but by God, they are their own boss. And that's perfectly fine. It's all about the pursuit. That's what it's all about, the pursuit. We're guaranteed that. For me, that pursuit is the American dream. I actually had somebody come to me once and ask me if I was dealing. Yeah, dealing, dealing. Yeah, that kind of crap. Because I got a new car and a new bike, new Harley. I tried not to let it piss me off. But the fact of the matter is, I think my response said enough. I said, no, I work. I pay my bills. I've got decent credit. I was blessed. Why Harley? Because I like Harleys. And I was fortunate to get them. Would I have been just as happy with Honda? Let me tell you something. I would have been just as happy with anything as long as it ran. I just wanted, to me, that was the pursuit. All of my life, I wanted a bike like that, and I got it. It took me 49 years, but I got it. A friend of mine that works at Dutch Miller Hyundai in Huntington, West Virginia, sold me the last 2 or 3 cars I had. calls me up in January this year, says, "Hey, do you remember that car that you wanted, but we didn't have in stock, so you bought this other one, which was close, but it wasn't." Yeah, you get the idea. And I said, "Yeah, I get it. What's up, Matt?" I got it in stock. It just came off the truck. Sent me pictures of it, phantom black, yada, yada, yada. I'll sit down and do the math, and I can swing it. So I swung it. So no, just because you see somebody with something nice, maybe they are after the pursuit. You're right, Scotty. We let this happen. There's a really good friend of mine out there, and I remember him saying once, and I'm just going to say his last name. It's Cornett. He's a veteran, great guy. Went to school with him. I love that guy to death. He said there's going to be a day when good men have to do, or coming that when good men have to do bad things. Is that what it's going to take for us to get our country back? To send a message? I don't know. I hope not. I hope enough people can come together and say, no more. We're done with this. Yes, this has been overflowing for a while. I'm sorry. The mountain mystery is not, or the mountain mysteries is not a political thing at all. We are about people. But its host, however, is fallible. I am human. But it pisses me off when I see a married couple, 50. They got to choose between paying the damn electric bill, getting their medicine, or buying groceries. I can't tolerate it. While somebody half their age sits back and does nothing, and then somebody offers them, I don't know if it was 300 or 1,200 or whatever it was, to go back to work. Well, what about the people that never left work in the first place? There's a lot of those of us out there that worked straight through this pandemic. We were deemed, what was the word, essential, and still some of them sit at home, make more than we do. And now they wonder, or some people wonder, why small business can't find workers. I heard one person with my own ears say, why the hell should I go back to work when I'm making more on unemployment? Okay, well, there is that thing called dignity, but whatever, if you can do without it, that's fine. How about this? How about we yank the unemployment right out from under them? Give the bonuses to the people that have been working through all this, the senior citizens who need a leg up just so they can pay the damn power bill and buy a box of Cheez-Its. How about that? How about we do that? And the people that can work, that just don't want to work, well, in the words of a friend of mine I worked in radio with some time ago, hunger is a powerful motivator. Now, do I want anybody to go hungry? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it even says in the Bible, if you want to eat, you work by the sweat of your brow. My God, Tony and Scott. Yeah. Tony said, tell it, buddy, working every day. Absolutely. Scotty said, don't worry, when the extra cash ends, there's going to be an awakening. Damn Skippy. Don't come around me or mine looking to steal and thieve. I've got about as much use for a thief or a liar as I do dog crap. And they're about on that same level. Like I said, when I grew up, my daddy always told me, and I had to test him 3 or 4 times before I found out it was the truth. I was a kid, If you screw up, you come, you tell me, you own it, I will be much less upset as opposed to you lying to me. Well, I did, and I lied to him. He found out, not good. Did it again, not good. Third time I came to him and said, Dad, I screwed up. What'd you do? Well, you know that beautiful rose garden that what's her name up the road here had? Yeah, I said, you know that motorcycle that we, yeah, well, she pissed me off and I rode straight through it and shot rooster tails up against her home. And the roses were in the rooster tail. I'll never forget that. He looked at me and he said, did she get video? I said, no. He said, bitch deserved it. No, she really didn't, but she was a really, really mean person. She was mean to everybody. Even, I mean, this woman kicked dogs. I'm not kidding you. I watched her kick dogs, like dogs, like beagles, puppies. So yeah, that bitch had it coming. But no, she didn't. So, but anyways, I owned it. And then there's a few times in school when I dropped the ball, brought home a few F's, told him it's not the same world, people. This is 2021. I'm 50 years old. And I remember when I was 25. I actually got out of a ticket once because I told the cop the truth and I owned it. Improper takeoff, I guess it was. Turn the tires over on the car, peel out, whatever you want to call it. Well, I didn't see him sitting there. Boy, but he saw me. So he pulls me over. He says, "You care to tell me what that was back there?" I said, "Yes, sir. I was showing off." And the guy literally stopped and he went, "Excuse me?" I said, "I was showing off." I said, "I guess I thought that'd give me a girlfriend or something. I don't know. At least for the night." And he said, "I can't." He said, he said, "Don't do it again." He said, "I'm going to let you out of this one." He said, "Because all night long, you were the first one to tell me the truth." He said, "And I believe you told me the truth." And I said, "I did tell you the truth. I was showing off. That plain and simple." It's amazing what the truth can do for you and what being responsible enough to own it. If you screw up, then you own it. You see that today? No, what I see is it's everybody else's fault. I have people I have to answer to, and they don't accept that, as they should not accept that. I get it. But more importantly, every time I have to own something like that, even to this day, I still see my dad. I still see my mom. And I can't help but wonder to myself, what would they screwed up, made a mistake? And then I hear my dad's voice, yeah, but you owned it. That's the difference between a boy and a man. Those kind of people are getting in short supply, folks. We all make mistakes. Guy I used to work for that Q95 told me, I said, well, screwed this up. And he said, Chris, we all screw up. I said, everybody makes mistakes. He said, the important thing is that we realize that we learn from it. We fix it if we can and we go on. Good advice. That was some odd years ago. But I'm the kind of person I try to believe, or I believe that I try to learn from everybody. I do. Even the brand new people. I come into contact with a kid, and by a kid, I mean somebody that's 18, 19, 20. Everybody has the ability to teach you something if you're just willing to watch and listen. That also goes along with putting down your ego. Because when you realize you don't know it all, then all of a sudden the whole world opens up to you and you can learn things. So yeah, I've been on my little kick tonight about this, but that's been building up for a while. When our fine governor made the announcement that he was paying people to go back to work, I couldn't help but think, well, what about all of those people that never quit working in the start? What about these truck drivers that kept getting things into the stores for people? What about these healthcare workers? God bless their hearts. Who were day in, day out, knee deep in this shit. I know people that got PTSD over this. Where's their bonus? Where's their pat on the back? And I ain't saying for myself because I don't give a rat's ass about myself. But what about these housing managers in Richmond? Some of them got shot just a few weeks ago for what? Doing their job? Again, That goes back to the mentality of everybody else's fault but mine. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. You got over $2,800 over the course of X number of months in stimulus, and you didn't pay your rent. So when they go to evict you, and granted, at that time, this was in between the moratoriums, but at any rate, they go to put you out of the house, and yeah, you didn't pay your rent, but you went out and bought a 72-inch TV, a couple of new Xbox PlayStations, and God only knows what else. I'll tell you what I did with mine. Paid the insurance on my Harley for a year and paid off bills. That's what mine went to. Yeah, I take it. I did splurge a little bit on my brother. I bought him some clothes that he wanted, and it just so happened that it said the Mountain Mystery. He loves watching this thing. He loves listening to the. I guess he likes to hear his brother bitch endlessly and ceaselessly. I guess the only thing I can ask for is, it seems like the older that we all get, the more this just doesn't look the same. The world doesn't look the same. That maybe is the greatest damn mountain mystery I've seen yet, is that what happened to America? What happened to at least thinking about doing what's right, trying to do what's right? What happened to looking out for somebody who has trouble looking out for themselves? Still, we're paying people to be on unemployment and paying them better than we are the people that work and giving them bonuses. Well, people who confront COVID every day, people who hold on to people's hands who are taking their last breath in the medical community, or truck drivers, convenience store workers, police officers. They're seeing the worst of humanity. They're seeing shit that nobody should ever see. No wonder they got PTSD, but do they get a bonus? No. Do they get a pat on the back from the higher ups in government? No. No, they don't get nothing except PTSD. I don't get where that is right. Then again, I guess none of this is right. The only thing that I think that may be right in all this is that there are still those of us who look back and say, we can be better. We can be more. First thing to doing that, though, is admitting that we are not as great as we think we are. And I'm talking to the people out there who, and you know who you are, it's everybody else's fault but yours. We are a direct result, directly proportional to the choices we make. How would I expect not to be put in prison if I went in and robbed a bank? What am I going to do? Say it's whose fault? It's my fault. I made the choice. That's why every day I choose to get up and go to work. Even on weekends, if I'm not doing management, I'm typically in this studio working on a podcast, maybe doing radio commercials, in the hope that one day, honestly, for me, it's the pursuit. Just like I said earlier, it's that thing the Constitution guarantees us about the pursuit of happiness. But happiness is defined by the individual. It's what they want. For some people, happiness is getting a lot of money. For some people, it's not being told what to do. It's having a course, being able to follow your own destiny, or what you perceive as your own destiny. For some people, it's having a husband or a wife and kids and 2.3 cats and a dog, 2 cars in the driveway. Maybe that's happiness. And you know what? There's not a thing wrong with any of that. But until we put first who needs to be put first in this disease, this cancer, this thing that's eating away at us, it's always going to be there. But just a hint, when you put God first, the rest of that shit just seems to go away. That cancer, that greed, that ego. that pride. And I'm not saying you got to go to church every Sunday. I'm not, listen, I don't subscribe to religion. I subscribe to a relationship with Christ, or I try to. God knows I screwed that up enough. And yeah, I do. I go to him about every night saying, well, I messed this one up. I'm kind of like my dad. He's like, well, at least you owned it. My thoughts and prayers are with every single one of you and your families. Remember the episode on Spotify tonight? If you don't care, try to check it out on Spotify. Get our numbers up there so we can do a little bit more about getting more and more of these stories out there. I absolutely love that idea. I really do. And a big hi to Linda, who just came in a few minutes ago in the chat room. I've taken up far more of your time than I thought to, about an hour and a quarter. I figured this would be about 20 or 30 minutes tops tonight, but maybe if I just hit a note with one person and that helps them, then maybe that's all I needed to do. So, see you again next Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Is it a date? Great date. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. May God bless and keep you all. May you keep your family safe and healthy, and you as well. I'm Chris Sloan for the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings, and the Mountain Mysteries Blares. Until next week, or the next podcast, which drops at midnight, stay mysterious.
From one coast to the other, mysteries are everywhere, and we will continue to pursue the answers to those questions and more. Please share, like, and rate the Mountain Mysteries podcast, and tell your friends to tune in on Facebook or YouTube. The Mountain Mysteries gatherings are each Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to support the Mountain Mysteries search and help these families, join us on Patreon, or you can make a one-time donation as well. The Mountain Mysteries and the Mountain Mysteries gatherings are property of the Pantry Studios and Chris Sloan, who writes and produces the content. If you would like to reach out to the Mountain Mysteries, please email us at pantrystudio@yahoo.com. Until next time, my friends, stay mysterious.
Pantry Studio production.